How's it going, everybody? I'm super duper excited here. Violet has just released their third single from their upcoming debut album, releasing November 18th. Uh, I did a reaction to the first single, Sophie. Check that out if you haven't already. That song is just incredible. And they also did a cover of Do Ya Do Ya, and that was really, really great as well. I didn't do a reaction to that one, but you should check that out too. And I also had a chat with Manuel Heller of the band Violet, primary songwriter and whatnot. He dished on some really cool details, behind the scenes stuff of the band, and kind of what to expect on the album coming out. Really, really great. It was an awesome chat. Check that out if you haven't already. Anywho, enough of all this business shenanigans. I really want to check this out and give it a listen, so I'm going to do just that. Rangers, go. Man, it's like watching an 80s movie or something with the soundtrack. I just don't know how they nail that sound. Again, like I know I mentioned this during my reaction to Sophie, but there's just something so authentic about their sound. Like I said, there's so many, modern like melodic rock AOR bands these days that have been coming out with really great bands that imitate the '80s style, and it's all in that '80s style and whatnot, but it's kind of like how I said before in the last reaction. It's more of like an imitation of what we remember the '80s being like, or just kind of a stylized kind of like this idealistic '80s sound that we kind of have now. It sounds '80s, but it's like this created version of the '80s that we kind of have in our head and all that stuff, that we've come to expect and all that. But Violet, I mean, it truly it just embodies everything that was like the true. It is so true to that actual like '80s AOR sound that it literally feels ripped right out from that decade. Like you could play it for somebody, and they would easily think it truly came out in the '80s, whereas some of the other '80s modern style AOR, it has that modern kind of vibe, but with that '80s sound. So you might be like, oh yeah, this is like sounds like a really great modern kind of melodic rock AOR '80s style, but Violet. I mean, it is just so truly authentic. The sound, it's just remarkable. I really have to hand it to him for that. And but I don't remember if I said the name of the song before I started watching it. But "The Looks of a Winner" is and it truly is a winner. That's what a winner looks like. And it was so cool having Manuel Heller actually sing some on this song. And he's got a great voice too, and that falsetto. Oh man, that was awesome. His part in the chorus was probably my favorite. It was really nice and catchy and melodic. But then you have Jamie Beckham kind of doing the vocals kind of in between, adding a little flavor, to that whole sequence, and it's just really, really great. Very interesting structure with the song. To be honest, it took a little bit to grow on me, just because it wasn't like really clear cut. It it was kind of like telling this story, across, and then you get like the chorus that kind of grounded everything and really brought in the catchiness and that melody, but the verses, the structure of all of that was a little different, and so at first I was just a little taken aback. Um, but it really kind of grew on me once you kind of get in the groove of it, and you start jiving with it, then it all kind of falls into place. But so I really appreciate that too, because a band like this, I feel like it's very easy to just have your very basic verse chorus bridge chorus, just very very basic song structure. But here I felt like there was more complexity than what I was honestly anticipating here. So that was really really cool, and it just brings to mind again that authenticity, because I can remember, watching like '80s movies and stuff. A lot of the songs sometimes used, or like songs for the soundtracks and stuff, have that kind of format where the verses are, aren't like your typical verses. There's a lot kind of going on before you really get to the chorus, and it's kind of telling this story, the song through the lyrics and all that kind of stuff. And so the verses are kind of, it's not just like a clean verse and then chorus. It's kind of this staggered kind of setup. Again, maybe to get more of the story of the song in there, or whatnot. But yeah, so really really neat. And in the video, I mean, just the lighting and everything, I just loved it. That keyboard solo was great. I love the guitar work, and you know how they were in like synchronized, you know, doing like the guitar movements. Oh, and I'm so glad I remembered that whole beginning with the drums was epic, absolutely epic. It made me think 100% of "Money for Nothing" by Dire Straits. You know how that song enters with the drums. It just so neat. You kind of hear like the synth like starting up, and oh man, it's just so cool. Like I said, that just oozes style and just 80s and you know, the passion from the band, and they all just seem like they're having a great time. So yeah, it's just another banger from the folks over at Violet. It's just such a refreshing band, you know, in the 80s AOR genre, because again, the authenticity is there. There's just something that these folks have, that this spark, this signature, you know, just their essence. There's something really special about these folks, and I think that's why they're really getting lots of recognition just out of yeah, right from the beginning. Sophie was their first single. They just came out of nowhere, and I mean, really, really taking the genre and the scene by storm. So yeah, I can't wait for the album November 18th. I think it's just going to be wonderful. Like I said, check out my chat that I had with Manuel Heller of the band to get some behind the scenes info. You know, some neat little tidbits. Yeah, you know, some behind the scenes secrets, even maybe. And oh, one thing, they even like dress the part. And one thing which I'll spoil from the chat that I had with Manuel, um, is that I asked him, does the band dress and look at the part outside of the music videos, like in just their daily life? And he said, yeah, that they all just, as much as they can, they dress that way. They have the 80s style and vibe and all that in their daily lives, because that's how they feel the most comfortable, and all, and that's just so cool. It's so cool. It makes me want to do. They should really. Here we go. A big idea here for you guys over at Violet. Make a YouTube series of videos on a tutorial on how to dress and look 80s style for any kind of settings. You know, whether you're going out for a Friday or Saturday night out, or you're just going out to the mall, or you know, just a very general, just kind of day, just you know, kind of a look. Maybe even like 80s sleep attire style, just for every moment of the daily life, and you know, whether it be partying, going out, or just staying at home, or getting ready for bed, or going to the mall with some friends, or the beach, or whatever. You guys need to do a series of videos of a tutorial how to look authentically 80s, for your everyday just activities and your everyday look. I think that would be a huge hit. And then, you know, compile it all together on a special edition VHS, you know, bonus for people to buy. Oh, that'd be so sick. So sick. Yeah, and I'll ask if you do that and it blows up, I'll ask in return is a Power Metal Ranger 80s signature look, Violet collab. That, oh, anywho, that would just be a lot of fun. But yeah, you guys knocked it out of the park again. Just another, just oozes style, and it's caught in my head already. Just brings a smile to your face. Can't wait for the album. Let me know, everybody, in the comments down below what you thought of this one here. The looks of a winner. Violet certainly has that look down. I tell you what. But anywho, can't wait for the album. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Catch you next time. Ranger out.